I'm going to show you two images. The other one was shot yesterday in Helsinki, and the other one I created with AI in 30 seconds. Can you tell which is which? I bet you can. But does it really matter which one is which? And I think it does, and it does quite a bit. Hi, it's Peter here. What street photography actually is? Well, street photography is not just taking photos on the streets or in an urban environment. It is three things. The first one is physical presence. You must be there. Without you being there, there are no street photographs. You must be there because it is about the moment, the gestures, about the story. And it doesn't matter the weather or whatever, you need to be there. And I think that's very crucial. And the second thing is human observation. Your eye, your feelings, your curiosity is the thing that drives you to make those street photographs. And you need to have an emotional connection with the things that happens. And the same thing goes with the viewer. There needs to be an emotional connection in order for a street photograph to be a good photograph. And the third one is unrepeatable reality. The moment you photographed happened once, and you were there present recording that precise moment. That won't be happening again. And that's what street photography is. But then, what is AI then? Or what it actually does? First, and this is crucial, AI is not photography. It is something else. And this is not debatable. No matter what you think, it is not photography. It is something else. Because it is not reality. It is fiction. Because it has been trained with thousands and millions and trillions of images, and it thinks what a genuine street photograph is. But it isn't, because it is fiction. It's not reality. And that is the key thing. And of course, in the section 1, the things that I said, it's none of that. And the whole point here is that AI creates images that what it thinks street photography is. And that is the key difference. And why this distinction matters. First of all, the documentary truth. AI, as I said, is fiction, and street photograph is a real document, a real thing, a truth. That's the biggest things. And when you're taking the photograph, it really shows that you were there. But if you make an image with generative AI, and just you sat on the computer and you didn't really feel anything, there are no emotions involved in that. And AI removes the truth. It's the same thing like you have journalist, which is truth, and then you have fiction. That's the same kind of distinction between AI and real photography. And then the craft becomes more valuable. When someone can create a street photograph in 30 seconds compared to someone who is actually going out into the world, into the cities, and creating that, it actually lifts the value of that real moment compared to a fake AI image, which I think is just nothing. And the ethical responsibility. We already seen some AI images winning competitions used in advertisement. Of course, that's something that I can kind of understand because advertisement photography has always been fake. It's not reality because it's staged and all that. But the problem is that when AI, generative AI, gets better and better, we have more problems in distinguishing these two. We can't, figure out which one is which is reality, which is not. That's why I think there are really big ethical considerations that we need to think about. I think that is probably the biggest threat that AI has inside photography is the fake images. And if we start doing fake street photographs with AI, which are very close to documentary, we're in a deep, deep trouble. The hunt of an image cannot be fake. If we are really out there in the streets, photographing, looking for that moment, documenting whatever everything is there, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication to do that. And, of course, it might take some dedication to learn how to make images with AI, but it is fake. But if you go out there that's real you, that's the real emotion. And I think that's very, very valuable. The human elements AI cannot replicate. I've said a few things about this already, but I think this is the core of differences between a photograph or street photograph and AI. It never AI can replace the human element from the photograph. Because when you go out there, you're standing in the rain waiting for several minutes, even hours to get that shot. And that is something that AI cannot do. Of course, you can do it quicker, but it is a fake image. How many times I've said that AI, they are fake images that can fool us. And that's the real problem. And the AI cannot make those split second decisions, what to photograph, what is your opinion, your view of the thing that happens, what's your angle. That cannot be replaced by AI. Just can't. And even though you can control how AI makes the images, but it still cannot replicate your style, your genuine style, which is the human element that makes the style, because it's your unique vision, not some generic vision of something that the AI think is a vision or is the truth or is a street photograph. And then where AI fits, if it fits at all. I'm not against AI in a way because it is a very valuable tool if we use it correctly. And I think in photography it should be used to help us in the repetitive tasks like maybe image culling, image editing into a certain degree, like noise reduction and making enhancements that comes from the fault of your equipment. Your lens might have some distortions and all that. I think there the AI has its place. But where do I draw the line in removing something from an image? I might use AI to show me where there is dust on the sensor, for example. It can do that. But I would never remove an element from a street photograph. I think it's part of that because those mistakes belong in there because they are reality. And I wouldn't do that. Cropping, yes, I might do, but that I won't let AI do it. I will do it myself because I want to be in control. Because if I let AI do it, it's an estimate, and it's probably making those cliches like rule of thirds and golden ratios and all that. Okay, yeah, they're good, but it's not something that I might want. But AI doesn't know that. At least not yet. We don't have that type of AI that can replicate our thinking. At least not yet. I don't know if that's going to ever happen. I don't know if I want it to happen or not. But we'll see. And this discussion reminds me of the discussion between film and digital. That transformation happened like 20 years ago in a big scale. And there were some people that were saying that film is the real photography, and still are. I've heard people saying that digital photography is not real photography because digital photography is in form or form the photography form inside a camera, and when using film, it's a kind of like a latent image that will be then processed to a image by a human being. But digital photography is processed inside the camera and is an opinion of a engineer somewhere in the world who has made the algorithm inside the camera. But there is the biggest thing that I think why digital and film is, the same thing is the human element. I still need to point my camera to the right direction. I still need to press the shutter at the right moment. And I still need to have my own opinion about it, or my view and my emotions. It doesn't matter what the medium behind the lens is that is recording. It's still light going through the lens to the medium that records the vision I have. And we have to remember that. That is not the same thing as compared to photography and AI, where in AI, the vision as we know it in traditional photography has been ripped out. But the future is optimistic, I think. This AI buzz, which is not going anywhere, is usable in some things. You can use some illustrative images that look real photographs, and it's a new craft. And I'm not saying that it's going to replace that many photographers it will replace photographers that are not using AI. Unfortunately, that will happen, but not if you are making genuine street photography, for example. Then that cannot be replaced, not in my thinking at least, because as I said many times in this video, what the differences are. And when we start seeing more and more AI generated images, the real photographs becomes more valuable. They are the genuine thing. And I think, and I hope that people still want to see that, the real thing, and not some assumed things that AI is making. AI can create images, but it cannot create photographs, cannot create real moments, it cannot create real emotions. That's why I think street photography and documentary photography is getting more and more valuable, because of the fakeness of AI. So now I'm going to photograph some more photographs on the streets. Before my next video, next Friday, will be out, you can watch that and wait for my next video. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.